Ever since I got my first cinema camera, I've been using SmallRig camera cages. So yes, this is going to be a SmallRig hype video. And this is the SmallRig ultralight, lightweight Mattebox. A lot of people might ask me, why did you buy the lightweight Mattebox? Well, the biggest reason for purchasing this is the diameter on this. It's going to fit my Zeiss CP2 compact primes version 2 down the line. My entire kit of Zeiss prime lenses. So I've got the 18, the 28, the 35, the 50, the 85, and this Mattebox is going to work on all of them. It will also work on Arri Master primes because they all have that 114 millimeter diameter on the front. Now the CP3s, they have the 95 millimeter diameter on the front. So this Mattebox is not going to work for me on that. But it will work for me on things like the Zeiss compact primes, and it has adapter rings inside so I can put some photography lenses onto this. A photography lens such as my Canon EF mount 70-200 L Series 2. So this one in particular is a 77 millimeter diameter in the front versus the 24-72, which is an 82 millimeter diameter in the front. But this doesn't really matter to me because I have everything in this kit. Takes a little shaky shake to open the box. It's nice and tight. And I do have to say, I love the design of this box. I will not take this on the road with me. This will not go in my camera case. It will sit up on the shelf and be an awesome decoration piece because this is a very cool box. Very cool design. Put that to the side there. Pull out the Mattebox and tell you, first of all, looking at everything, all metal construction where it matters, all the mounting points, all metal, 1/4-20 holes on the top here so you can fit other things on top of it. Maybe a microphone or maybe a wireless transmitter or anything like that. Very durable. And then you have the rest of the Mattebox, which is a carbon fiber. That's what makes it lightweight. So you got your flag. And this flag, a beautiful thing. I believe you can tighten this down if you wanted to, but your flag always stays in position. It's got to be some force to really close this. That's a good thing. If I want to close there, if I want to open there, if I wanted to open all the way up, it's nice that you're able to do that without the flag moving. I've had other Mattebox in the past. They constantly come unscrewed, and you're always like, it's nice that this is nice and stiff, and you could probably even make it tighter with the turn of this. But I'll tell you something else, you flip this up, and then your flag just easily slides right out, like so. Now you have just the Mattebox. Why I also purchased this was to go to my gimbal here. That was the biggest thing that I wanted this for, was to be able to put a Mattebox onto my camera and put it on the gimbal without having a lot of weight and rods and rails. And again, I'm going to go back to the Blackmagic situation with gimbals. It's a little bit of an odd shape, so you never do put the camera straight down the middle of the lens. you always have to offset the camera. So the only way to get Mattebox on there is to have a clip-on Mattebox. Clip-on Mattebox means it's going to clip onto the lens and tighten down and stay there. The other thing about SmallRig, like I said before, is the versatility of their equipment. So you have another 1/4 inch hole. I believe that's 1/4 inch. Let's test it out right now. It looks to be 1/4 inch to me. 1/4 20 thread. Which is correct. 1/4 20 thread. So again, versatility with SmallRig and their Mattebox. They do sell a rail block similar to this that will attach to your Mattebox, and then you can put it on your rails, and it has adjustability, like so. I did not purchase that. I just got the Mattebox. I have other Matteboxes that I will use strictly for tripods and things like that because they do things a little bit different than this Mattebox. But this Mattebox is perfect for ND filters and things of that nature, so when you're shooting on a gimbal, you get some really nice, beautiful images. Before we attach this, I want to talk about, like I said before, the adapters. So you get 4 different adapters, which are in this box really snug. Let's put this to the side. 4 adapters in this kit. All right, so you add your 82, which that's what that is, the 82 opening. I don't have an 82 millimeter lens on me quite at this moment. You get a 72 in this kit. You get the 77 for this lens here. I mean, 82 is going to be mostly your common size, and then, you know, some oddballs throughout the world there. Like this 67 millimeter. I don't have any 67s. I do have some lenses that are 72, a 20 millimeter Canon lens that's 72 that I can attach the Mattebox to. But I got the 67, and the one that I really need, the 72, or the 77. This is going to thread right in on the front of your lens, just like any filter does. If you ever worked with photography lenses and filters, you know they're always a little bit finicky to get on there. But we are on. We're going to open up. Pop right on. Tighten down. Perfect. Never going anywhere. Great little fit. I'm going to pop this off, and let's go to the 114 millimeter open diameter. So we're going to open this all the way up. Pops right off. Simple. Those to the side because honestly, I won't be using that very, very often. Just when I need to get those super telephoto shots, will I ever be using that. Okay, here we go to the gimbal. Gimbal test. Zeiss CP2 compact primes. 18 millimeter. Tighten it down just like this. Secure, not going anywhere. Perfect. Perfect for my Zeiss CP2s and other lenses out there. I can't name all the lenses down the list that use a 114 millimeter diameter in the front, but you know, if you buy these lenses, you should know, you should look into it, and that way you know which Mattebox to go with, because lenses are getting smaller these days a little bit. So there are some lenses out there that are in the 95, like I said, the CP3s are doing a 95 millimeter these days, okay? Next, we're gonna pull out some filters. Okay, one thing about the filters with this particular Mattebox, it does accept 4x4 and 4x565 filters, which is very cool, especially if you're using very wide angle lenses. You're probably gonna have to have more coverage. That's why you're gonna have the 4x565. Sadly, I don't own any 4x565. I only have 4x4 filters currently. But why I brought these two filters out are because these are different. One is a Tiffin, pretty much industry standard, one of the top filter makers in the world. The second one is this format filter that I got, and it's okay. But the big difference with this filter is it has a metal plate around it. Oh, format UK. Let's say they're good then. It has a metal plate around the filter. Will that affect the size any? It should fit in any filter tray, and it should slide right into this Mattebox as any filter would. Tiffin filters do not have that same metal piece around the edge of them. They're just straight glass. And we're not going to do this the perfect way. We're not going to take it out, clean it, and put some gloves on and make sure there's no fingerprints. I will clean this later. But I want to just slide them in there and see how easy it is to slide the filters into this Mattebox and hopefully not get any fingerprints on them. So we're going to open up the side door here. That opens all the way up. I'm going to turn it to me just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. And let's start with our format with the metal frame around it. These are all ND gradients. I don't know if you can see, maybe you can see that. It's got a gradient on the top, so I want the gradient in the sky, like so. Fingerprints. So I'm going to grab the corners like that. Make sure my top screws are unlocked there. This format is being a little bit of a tight fit. You'll have a much easier time with a 4x565 filter than you will the 4x's. But it's slid in there. It's nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to slide around. This is why it's tight. It needs to be tight, especially for 4x4 filters. You don't want to put it in the Mattebox and then you tilt the camera and it slides this way and then it slides this way. So it really needs to be tight. That format filter was a little too tight, but the Tiffin slid in much better than the format, and I imagine that's probably because of that wire frame around the edge there. But the test will be to tilt it to you. No filter sliding one way or the other. Nice and tight. Pretty much going to be durable for any job that you have. And then also, I forgot, there are some tightening screws here too to help it. Doesn't get any better than that. So now, not only do I have to live this with a gimbal, but I can put it on a shoulder rig, light my load, handheld shots that I'm doing, light my load, easy rigs, fly cams, steady cams, dollies and tripods. It'll go to any piece of equipment that you got out there, but it's really gonna lighten the load when you gotta handhold your camera, or you gotta put it on some kind of rig, or you gotta put it on the shoulder or anything like that. And as always, I'm super impressed with the way that SmallRig keeps engineering their products and innovating with every step and every year. I can't wait to see what they're gonna come out with next. Wait a minute, I know what they came out with next. And that's gonna be in the next video. We're gonna take a very deep dive into the SmallRig RC 450 Cob LED light, bicolor. So stick around for that video coming very soon. And as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and remember to keep shooting.